Welcome to this week's Rebel Run Sports Show. I'm John Moore, joined as always with Robert Giampapa.
That's right, the white Donnie Simpson, that's what they call me.
Donnie Simpson?
That's right, or the white Julian Edelman, that's what they call me.
Wait, isn't Julian Edelman white?
Yeah, have you seen him play? Yeah. I'm a lot whiter than he is. Let's just be honest about it.
That's probably true. Here at Next Level Fitness in Haymarket. Very spacious Next Level Fitness in Haymarket.
Of course it is, man.
Awesome. This is the last week of the regular season.
It's terrible.
It is terrible.
I don't feel like, you know what, I don't feel like I had enough time in gyms.
Well, we got a lot to go.
Yeah, man.
The playoffs, they go on for a while.
That's true. Speaking of that, I got to apologize to Champ and Loudoun Valley girls teams. We had a mix-up in the schedule this week, and it was completely my fault.
Oh, was it?
It was 100% my fault. I'll admit it. I'll take it. So I owe you all a game.
That
was my fault.
Game.
Yeah.
Some fun games, rivalry games this week.
Well, you know what?
Season.
Actually, speaking of Loudoun Valley, I'm going to watch this team as much as I possibly can for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch
them.
I got to watch Loudoun. They're a special team. They got special players, and that nucleus, that thing. I don't know if we'll ever see something like that in the area again with those three guys together.
I saw the Lob City highlight.
Of course you did.
It's fantastic.
It is. But you know what? Jordan Miller, he broke the all-time scoring record at Loudoun Valley.
Yeah.
Like the week before, Jalen Williams broke the all-time three-point record there that stood for like 50 years or something. And Jalen Williams is probably the most underrated basketball player in Nova. Like, everybody talks about Jordan Miller.
Right.
They talk about Dominic Peterson's three-point shooting. What Jalen Williams is able to do for that team, the way he runs it, he's probably the most underrated player in Nova.
When we have a team that's stacked, there's always a guy who kind of falls under the radar.
Yeah.
And you put him on any other team in the area, and he's
just a flat-out star.
Right.
Yeah, and he's quite, he's a quiet guy. Like, we've interviewed him before. He's a quiet guy. You wouldn't know that he's a dominant force on the court. Well, what are you going to do?
He is. He makes them go.
Super Bowl.
Okay. I don't even need to say anything. If I took off my shoes right now, it'd probably be bad for multiple reasons. Yeah. But I'm wearing Philadelphia Eagles Nikes.
That threw me a bit. That threw me a bit. Especially because today we talked to Coach Sherman Rivers, we talked to Coach Keith Honore.
Yep.
Both had 11 lows on, and then I turn around and you got Eagles shoes on.
I do. They're fantastic.
Well, I was hoping they were Keds.
Keds?
Yeah, you just haven't seen them in a long time.
You haven't seen them on me ever. You
never?
Wear Keds?
Never.
I've never worn Keds.
I'm going to ask your mom.
Ask her. Well, my mom always bought us shoes that had no name brand at all. Like zero branding. I don't know if Buster Brown's, is it Buster Brown's in the store around here? In Philly, we went to Buster Brown, and they were just shoes, they had no branding on them. They didn't even say Buster Brown. It was just a shoe with a size on it.
That's awesome.
You put your foot in that metal device, and
it's the worst thing ever invented.
It really is.
That shoe, no, that's terrible. It's terrible.
And it hasn't changed.
No.
It hasn't changed.
It's like the space shuttle. You gotta tell me those two things haven't changed in 40 years.
I know.
I can do anything I want to on my phone. How you gonna tell me I'm still putting my foot on a thing that looks like a torture device?
I concur.
Those little things like that annoy me.
I'm telling you.
They annoy me.
You would think there'd be more innovation.
Before we get too far, we should probably let people know. Offensive, defensive linemen.
Yeah.
March.
It's coming.
We have an elite lineman camp going on.
Yeah, get signed up. NextLevelFitness.com. Is that the website? I should have more. We'll post it. But yeah.
You know what? This is what I got. This is what I got to deal with.
17th and 24th, right here at Next Level Fitness in Haymarket.
Thank God I got that part right.
Yeah. Austin Brown, Brandon Fry, two former NFL football players are going to be coaching.
Yeah.
It's not me.
No. Brandon Fry, Virginia Tech alum.
Yep.
And Austin Brown came out of Woodbridge.
That's right.
Hey, man. So we got local ties, NFL ties. This is all going on. NFLPA ties.
Back to basketball. Lake Braddock and the Fairfax girls went at it this week.
Yeah. Senior night for the Fairfax girls. Last week we talked about multi-sport athletes.
Yep.
Emma Heslip for Fairfax. Great field hockey player and great basketball player.
Yep.
Been there a long time. It was a senior night for her. Fairfax got a pretty young team. A couple years ago we saw them a lot. They had a really senior heavy team, but this year I think they're pretty young, but they come into the season 10-10. I think Lake Braddock was like 11-8, somewhere around there.
Right.
So they're pretty even teams going into the game. Fairfax, you all should get out and support your sports teams more. Let me just say that. I saw what you all did at a football game. You need to get out and support your teams more.
Yeah.
Fairfax jumped out 12-9. I mean, close first half. Go in, take a 22-16 lead going into halftime. Elena Park for Lake Braddock. I mean, she had 17 in the game. I think she's done 17. You expect a 3 in there at some point when you start getting that, with numbers getting close to 20? No. 6 from 2. She had six baskets and then 5 from 6 from the free throw line.
Not bad at all.
No. It's a good night.
It's a good night.
But Emma Heslop goes for 10. And a couple of young players that they have, Melanie George, she had 16 and 6 in the game. Good night. Sam McNaughton, her brother played at Fairfax a couple years ago. I remember watching him a lot. Sam has got a bright future in front of her. She had 13, 4, and 2. And
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good night.
It's a good night.
But Fairfax goes on to win 53-44 on senior night.
Good for Fairfax.
Yeah.
I love when we can report, Fairfax has had some success.
Absolutely.
It's starting to feel few and far between.
Well, man, why you got
I don't know. It's my school. It's our school.
That's true.
I want better. All the time. All the sports. Come on, Rebels.
They are on a great street.
Yeah?
The school's on a great street.
What streak is that?
No, street.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the school's on a great street.
It is. This is the best named street in the country, I think.
It is. Some would say that their street is also the name of the #1 source for high school sports in Northern Virginia.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
And I back it.
Just saying.
You know where I was?
Where'd you go?
Broad Run High School. A couple things here. All right, Broad Run's having a down year, right? Came in the game at 6-11. Shout out to the Broad Run student section.
The Maroon Crew.
That was probably the largest group in a student section I've seen all year.
Go ahead. All right.
Unfortunately, the team didn't give them much to cheer about. But it was awesome. They came, I mean, it was, all right, we love the Loudoun County gyms. They're small, it's great. But, I mean, they were out thick. The student section was great there. But, the game started. Champ. Saw our boy Carl Garman III and his parents. Still fans of the show, CG3. Not playing this year.
But he's got a bright future in football.
He has a very bright future.
Yeah.
Talked on the sideline. He said, this team is getting better. Should be a good game for him. And it was. Last year, do you remember Tyler Savage as a freshman?
Of course I do.
I remember Jason Fragala, Don Fragala's father, telling me that kid's going to be good.
Yep.
I don't know if I've seen one player in 1 year progress as much as that kid has progressed.
Really?
He had 17 points. You'll see on the highlights, he gets up, throws it down. He has a series of block shots that I thought a center had because he was so high. I mean, he was all over the floor.
He blocked 3 shots in about a 2-second stretch. I felt bad for the guy, man. I felt bad for that guy.
I loved his interaction with the Broad Run student section.
Really?
Yes, when they tried to boo him down for free throws. And he shushed.
Really?
Oh, it was great.
That's
the
good
kid has got
for a sophomore. I like that.
I know he's got swag. He can score. He's confident. That's the one thing I remember seeing him last year. He's got a lot of playing time, but he lacked the confidence. This year, the confidence is 100% there.
Well, you got to. You don't have 37 points coming night in and night out coming from a guy.
But this team, they're 11-9 now, and they've been up and down. But they got him. They got some scorers. They got, remember Brandon Burdick, Zach Burdick's little brother. He's playing well. He had 10 points. He hit a shot at the buzzer. Nick Ryan had 15 points. He hit a buzzer beater at the end of 1 quarter.
How athletic is the Burdick family? My goodness.
Very, very. But they got some athletes on that team. They got some good players. Andrew Arbor. They're fun to watch. They get up and down the court. Again, they were playing Broad Run, who's down school. We're going to see how Champ plays. I mean, they're going to run into some teams that you're going to really get to test their mettle pretty fast when the playoffs start. But, I mean, this one was over at halftime. I left after the third. It was a lot to a little. Ended up 76-40. Coach Bill Maher's got another budding superstar on his team.
I tell you what, I won't be surprised. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about this, but I'm just going to say it. I won't be surprised if Tyler Savage is the starting quarterback for Champ next year.
Is that right?
I think that dude's a great athlete.
That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah. I tell you, there was buzz around him coming into high school.
Yeah. From last year to this year, that progression, watching that game.
Yeah.
You knew he had talent as a young freshman. I mean, he's so confident.
Yeah.
So confident, which is, I mean, that's almost half the battle when you're playing.
You got to be in basketball.
Yeah, you got to be confident.
You got to be. If you don't, you're going to get eaten up.
Yeah,
quick.
but he's there, man. They're pretty fun to watch. Yeah, I enjoyed watching Champ.
Good.
Shout out to Broad Run. That was awesome.
I like Broad Run's gym. I do like their gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw them play Tuscarora in there last year.
Yeah.
I like that gym.
Very
the Maroon
cool.
Crew.
Well, you mentioned earlier, we sat down with the Patriot High School basketball coach.
Absolutely. Hey, Patriot on a tear right now. They've got to be on pace for their best year in school history.
Sure.
We had a chance to sit down. Coach Sherman Rivers.
Yep.
The great, let me just say, great 11 lows. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, great 11 lows on it. Check it out. All right, Coach Rivers. You guys are having a tremendous year, coming off a big. You guys had a huge weekend last weekend.
Yes, we did.
You beat Battlefield on Friday, which is obviously a big deal. Mm-hmm. But then you turn around, you get on a bus, you go down to Green Run, and you beat Oscar Smith.
Yep.
How big was that weekend for your program?
Well, it was big in regards to the fact that I know that when I got the job that, I heard about the Battlefield rivalry, and I use that term loosely when it came to basketball because, they had beat us 11 straight times, and you can't be a rival of someone unless you win.
Right.
So, the fact that we were able to finally get a win was big for us because that game is a big thing in the community and all those people being there, and they come to the game and very excited, but then when you lose, they're not going to come back. Right. So for us to win that game was good, not only for the program, but for as far as our fans and everything else like that. And then to travel down the short turnaround, we had to get up at 7 a.m. the next morning, get on the bus to ride down to Virginia Beach after a very tough, emotional win. Mm-hmm. And to go play a very good team in Oscar Smith, who at the time was the number 3 ranked team in the state of Virginia, and able to pull that out was huge for us.
All right, so you get to Patriot. Every coach kind of likes to put his own footprint on the program, mm-hmm. where there's a different culture change is needed. What was needed at Patriot when you got there, and what do you think you've produced so far?
Well, in the past, before I got there, wasn't a lot of success. Obviously, everybody knows about that. And when there hasn't been success, kids don't have confidence in themselves. They go into games, and they're just kind of playing, and then as soon as something bad happens, it's like, here we go, we're supposed to lose. It's just that sort of mindset we wanted to change. We wanted to, foster a community of competition. That was the main thing I said when I got there, is that I want you guys to compete and go as hard as you can at all times, and then we'll figure it out after that. And so when we started to do that, I feel like we started to turn the quarter a little bit last year, especially at the end of the first season. We were able to push Woodson to double overtime in the regional playoffs after actually getting our first regional win at Centerville in school history. So it was just one of those things that we just had to change the mindset and the culture of losing, so to speak. And once we did that, and we went into the summer, one of the best moments I think for me going into the off season was right after the game was over with. You're doing the whole speech. It's a sad situation. You have seniors who are worrying about them playing their last game. And Drake Marshall comes up to me before he even starts getting dressed, and he asks me when off-season workouts start. And at that moment, I was like, we're going to be okay. I think that we finally have gotten through them and made them understand hard work is going to get you where you want to be at. So,
well, since you brought them up, let's talk. You got a couple of guys who, in Drake Marshall and Ike Onwuka, who are great to watch. And to have two guys like that, one that kind of runs the floor and one that could just flat out score anytime you need one, mm-hmm. How much easier did that make your job coming into this year?
Well, coming into this year, even coming into the first year, seeing those guys when we first started workouts, I remember thinking that, Drake had a chance to be very special. Mm-hmm. He was one of those guys that, I don't know if you guys are fans of White Men Can't Jump, but
of course.
Billy Hoyle in the movie, when he comes to the court, you look at him and you're like, there's no way this dude can play basketball. And Drake Marshall is the epitome of that. When he comes to school and you see him walking around, there's no way you think that he's going to be the type of player that he is. So he comes in the gym, he probably got on different color socks, and he's got on some sort of random shorts on, some weird looking t-shirt, and he comes out there and he's just getting busy. And just any way you want it, from the outside, inside, off the dribble. And I told him at that point, I said, you have a chance to be one of the best players in the region. And he hadn't even played a varsity minute yet at that point. He was coming from the JV team. And then just his work that he put in the offseason, I knew that he was going to be a big-time scorer for us. And, you know, I can talk all day about Ike. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm these guys' personal hype man on Twitter. I'm sure you guys have seen that before, just me talking about their abilities, because I want people to know how good they are. Because with the lack of success, people don't come to see that. You know, coaches usually like to see programs that have had success in the past, and that's where they usually try to see that. So when we haven't, and I'm watching Ike do things in practice. I mean, you guys see it in games, you think like, man, that was crazy. There's things that he does on a daily basis in practice that I just have to stop and laugh out loud. There have been times in practice where I'm like, sometimes I forget how really good you are, especially when he's off playing football and scoring touchdowns all over the place. And,
that was my next question. You have a guy like that who's so successful on the football field, and the football program is successful at Patriot.
Right.
Is that a help to have somebody like that when he gets on the court to kind of bring that winning attitude?
Well, Ike is the type of kid that he demands respect from everybody, not because it's a thing where he's like outright like I'm the greatest and everybody do this. He's kind of a lead by example sort of guy. Plays so hard. He's not super vocal. He's grown more into that as he's gotten older. But I mean, I could say it, and I'm sure that kids would agree. He's more than likely the best athlete in our school. I mean, the guy scores 31 touchdowns, and he's, you know,
I can say
leading us in scoring. So
much humbleness coming from these kids.
It is, to a certain degree. It's crazy to think how good he is in both sports. And when you talk to him, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know that he's as good as he is. And that's most of the kids on our team. So just watching him and the things he does on a day-to-day basis, and then, like you said, him being out on the football field and being a leader for them and them having success. I'm always happy to have guys that have success in other sports. You know, last year we had a couple guys that were baseball players, and obviously the Patriot baseball team has had a lot of success over the years, and try to infuse that into our basketball program so guys have a winning mindset. They go into games knowing they're going to win and make plays. And so having him, and you know, he's making plays all over the place anyway, but at the same time, he's thinking we're going to win this game, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that it happens.
He's the most underrated athlete in Northern Virginia.
For sure.
Period.
I'm glad to hear you guys say it. I've been saying it for the last 2 years, so to hear you guys say it out loud, it makes me very happy. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you went to Potomac, then you played at William & Mary. What have you brought from your experience there to help you kind of change the culture at Patriot?
You know, you want to be learning at all times. You know, my experience is just from being a player, from being a coach. Obviously, you know, I played under Kendall Hayes at Potomac, so that was a big influence on me growing up in my teenage years. I went on and played at William & Mary. Charlie Willem was my coach at first, but he ended up retiring. Then Rick Boyages, who was the associate head coach at Ohio State when they had Scooney Penn and Michael Redd. He was a great X's and O's guy, knew a lot about where to be at for defensive and offensive situations. Then my travels playing overseas for 7 years and just trying to pick up things from different people, and then coming back and coaching under Keith for those years that I was there. It just, everybody, you try to take a little bit from them and try to come up with your own philosophy. And I think that, you know, being around a lot of great basketball minds growing up and hearing different aspects and different avenues and the way to go about things was good for me. So that was something that I took from.
All right, what was your goal at the beginning of the season for this team? And now we're going into the final week of the regular season. Where do you think your team is?
I mean, my goal was for us to win the district. That was first and foremost. You can't do the rest of it without winning the first part. So I thought that we had a good shot to do so, looking at what we had coming back, looking at the landscape of the rest of the district, which I think is the best district in the state. Even OP, who's had some struggles, every night they give a team a game for a half. So the team that's the last place team in our district is also a tough out. So to have teams like Stonewall, Battlefield, and Osborne is just, there's never a night off. So I thought that if we could win the district, then we would be battle tested and ready for the rest of this playoffs and going into the region and hopefully maybe advance to the state tournament for the first time in school history.
Eagles or Patriots?
Oh, God.
I hate to say it. I think Patriots.
Oh! Can't take much more of this.
Hate to say it.
So
I hate to hear it.
Coach Rivers, our new resident football person here, we like that a lot. We like that over here a lot, not so much over there. All right, I got a weird question to ask you to end off. Where you stand on go-go?
I'm a big go-go guy.
Oh my God, perfect.
I grew up, like I said, went to Potomac, grew up in Northern Virginia, so go-go is...
That explains it all.
Yeah.
You have to be from D.C. area to like go-go.
You don't have to be from D.C. area to like
Name one person who's not from D.C. area you've ever met who likes go-go.
Did you see the China thing?
Well, I did see that.
All right, yeah.
Okay, I saw that. There's a go-go band in China, and it sounds awesome. But one person that you guys would know, Eli Camp, that played at Potomac, he is not from the D.C. area. He just came here basically for high school. He's a big go-go fan. He's from Pennsylvania.
What?
Boom.
There you go.
He ain't from my part of Pennsylvania.
Whatever.
He ain't from Philly.
Whatever. Shout out to Eli Camp. There you go.
Well, good luck the rest of the way, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thanks for
coming
having
down
me.
sitting with us.
I appreciate it.
Coach Rivers.
Man, they're in good hands.
They are in good hands. He's got a great basketball background. He's done a tremendous job turning that program around.
Yeah.
And his Super Bowl pick's
Oh
good.
my goodness. I thought you were going to say.
His go-go pick is good.
Oh my God.
You know what, man?
How can I believe on Super Bowl Sunday with our two favorite teams playing, you found a way to bring go-go music on this show?
I was listening to go-go on my way in.
It's terrible.
It's not
How
terrible.
do you wake up to that?
How do you not wake up to that? I'm sorry. You put on Work the Walls, I'm good to go for the rest of the day.
Oh my God.
I'm good to go for the rest of the day.
S's, backyard band, junkyard band, side yard, but it's terrible music.
I'm trying to tell you, the Simpsons sister had a terrible song, Pieces of Me. Rare Essence redid it. That song is great.
It's just horrible music.
It is not.
I'd rather listen to Hank Williams Sr.
Anyway, that doesn't shock me about you in the least. Not in the least.
Oh man. Well, you got to see the fun Stonebridge group.
I did, and they were playing the Great Freedom Team.
Yeah.
I've been to Stonebridge football games.
Yep. Very good.
Good. Where are you for basketball? Stonebridge has one of the most fun teams to watch out there.
They do.
Because when those three guys get going, it is great to watch.
Yeah.
You were 1,000% right about watching them.
Oh, they're fun.
All right. Nobody in the stands for Stonebridge.
Really?
I was disappointed,
Oh, that's
man.
shocking.
I was disappointed. And you know what? Wasn't many people for Freedom either. The basketball in Loudoun County outside of Loudoun Valley,
Yeah.
crowds are terrible. Y'all got to do a better job.
Do better.
You got to do a better job. You got some good basketball. Hey, you got good basketball going out there too. So.
Right.
No, Loudoun Valley always packed. Every other place I go, not as much. But no, the atmosphere wasn't as good as it should have been. For a really good, it was a great game to watch.
Right.
Game starts off. Jeremy Cofield for Freedom. Like he just got hot early.
Yeah.
He had a couple of baskets early. I think he hit a three, had a steal and a finish and one in. He finished the game with 16 and 10, but he really set the tone early for Freedom. I'm just going to talk about Freedom all the way in the beginning because I need a lot of time to talk about Stonebridge.
Yeah.
Zion Collins finishes with 22 because he's
Zion
great.
Collins.
Yeah, he's great. I saw Clutch after the game.
Yeah?
Yeah, he told me I needed some more Freedom gear. And so you
Bring it.
If you build it, he will come. Right? Also saw our guy, I'm looking at stats from the best sports stats company in the business, Legit Sports Stats. Saw Marcellus Bowie there himself at the game. I said, it must be a big game because they got you out here. He said, it must be a big game because they got you out here. Well, no, Marcellus is great. They do a great job over there. Cleo Green.
Great name.
It is a great name, and I like watching that dude. I think he's a solid. He's a really solid player. But they're two big guys, Hunter Oakford and Lance Johnson. I really like them.
Yeah.
Stonebridge did a really good job defending them and kind of taking them out of the game in spots. But Hunter Oakford has got some moves that they're impossible to defend.
Yeah.
Unless you got somebody 6'10", they're impossible to defend.
Right.
Now let's go to Stonebridge. Stonebridge took control early.
Right.
Didn't really give it up. They pretty much had it in control the whole way. I'm not even going to go through like the quarter scores and all that
Right.
stuff. Because I want to talk about Stonebridge. One, they had a guy, Isaiah Rhodes, that came. But he must have been hurt. He's back. That dude can shoot the lights out of any gym he's in. He was 6 of 12 from the field. Finishes with 20 points. You leave him open in the corner, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. And he's going to get a lot of those shots because their three-headed monster that they have.
We got to come up with a good nickname. Do you remember Golden State Warriors of years past? I'm dating
Latrell Sprewell?
No, before that. Run TMC.
Run TMC, yeah.
Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin. They need a nickname.
Man.
We'll have it by next week.
Yeah. Those three guys are as fun to watch as any
They
three
are.
guys. They're essentially the same guy in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
They're about the same size. They can all handle. They can all shoot. They can all get to the basket. Like, it ain't even right. You know what I'm saying? It's not even right. One, again, the way Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
Those three guys are great going. Start with Ben Kling. Ben Kling got no problem letting you know when he hits a three.
Absolutely not.
He's also got no problem letting you know when he assists on a three. And I think when he hits one himself, he brings it up. When he assists it, he brings it down. I like that dude. Great. He finishes the game with 11. Had 11 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. But like some of the stuff that he does, you can't really qualify with stats.
Right.
And they run that kind of weave up out at the top of the key.
Yeah.
It's impossible to do. When they can shoot, it's impossible to do anything.
Oh, absolutely.
It's impossible. Evan Buckley may be the guy with the best shot at going to like a major D1 school. There's just something about the way he plays, the way he handles.
We've been following him for a few years now since he was a freshman.
He's so smooth.
Yeah.
Just so smooth. So he had a move going to the basket where he comes up and finishes with the opposite hand, like turning his back to the basket. There ain't many people around that can make that basket.
Right.
He's great. I mean, 20 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He fills up a stat sheet, but he runs that team, and there ain't nothing you can do when he's on. James DeLuigi.
Yeah, you love that name.
Love it. Love it. I'll take that dude any day. He killed that game. Shooting, driving, whatever, he killed that game. Yeah, the other great thing is that they wear 1, 2, 3.
I know. I love that about it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
They could just switch them at different points in the jersey and everybody would have
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed watching. James DeLuigi had 24, 4, and he just dominated the game.
Yep.
Whatever he wanted to do, he got to. His pull-up jumper is trouble.
Yeah.
Because he can get you a little bit off the basket. You back up a little bit, he's going to pull that jumper, and it's great.
And they play very unselfish with each other.
They
which
do.
Is, for guys who have that skill set, you don't always see that. But they're very unselfish with the ball, and that helps when you have 3 guys that can all handle the ball and shoot.
Man, they're going to be trouble for people. Going into the playoffs.
I told you, if they're on, they're going to be problems for anybody they play.
Anybody. Freedom is really good.
Right.
But there were stretches where Freedom could not do anything with them.
Yeah.
When they're all going like that, and you can stretch with a player like Isaiah Rhodes, man, that's trouble. So 84-67 was the final. Great game. It was a great game. Not a great crowd. Those 3 guys, you get those 3 guys going, ain't nothing you can do with them.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do with them.
Yeah.
But their coach.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind getting into the refs. And you know what? Both Freedom and Stonebridge, they're both letting the refs have it. And anybody that can, where I don't have to say bad things about the refs, the coaches can. I'm with that. I'm with that.
All right, last week of regular season basketball, playoff time.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's going to be fun because we talked about a little bit outside of Valley. No one's really dominating this year.
No, we're going to want to see, I want to see what Coach Honore got at Potomac.
Did you see?
He's got that young team. I want to see what they're able to do in the playoffs.
Stonebridge kids.
I want to see them.
I want to see Lake Braddock if they catch fire. I love the way they sub in and out 5 at a time.
Westfield, Patriot.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, what were we talking about? There's a lot of teams that are good.
All right, well, you can always see us on all of our local cable providers.
You should.
RebelRunSports.com.
Hopefully.
Come down to Next Level Fitness in Haymarket.
Always.
Train your body. Kids and adults.
Athletes.
Athlete
Performance Center.
That's right. And look out for our elite level training.
That's right. Be on the lookout.
Commercial coming soon.
Yeah, and I got no idea what a lineman does, obviously.
That's why we brought in the pros.
Look at me. Thanks, Mr. Batts.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Goodness gracious.
For Rob, I'm John. First Super Bowl. John Massera? Colby?
I really hope John's disgusted the rest of this week.
Might have John Massera co-hosting the show next week. I'll just work the cameras if
whether it goes well or bad. never know.
Either way.
Oh God, we'll never see him again if he wins.
We'll see you next week.
Goodness, that would be awful.